to not cross that line, or to like go up to your line and be like, okay, I'm good now, like that was fun. Hey y'all, welcome to Meryl's Mystic. I'm Meryl, and I empower witches, bitches, and dudes to complete themselves in order to have healthier soulmate relationships and more purpose-filled lives. And today we are here to talk about upcoming Sagittarius season. Yay! We love our Sagittarians. The Sagittarians are the funnest. They are one of the sexiest signs. They are extremely independent. They are adventure loving. They are unapologetic. They're equally strong-willed and go with the flow. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign because the Sagittarius season takes place during the last bit of fall. So this also is the beginning of the end of autumn, and the last day of Sagittarius and the first day of Capricorn coincide with the winter solstice. This Sagittarius season will be taking place on the evening. It will start the evening of November 21st, and it will go until the morning of December 21st. And if you haven't yet, please be sure to go watch the full moon in Taurus reading on the Meryl's Mystic, point to the right corner, Meryl's Mystic YouTube. That was a very powerful full moon with the eclipse. It was one of the longest eclipses, and that all this energy of the seasons leading up to this eclipse season is super transformative, and we've been doing a lot of transitioning and changing, and now I'm hoping that this Sagittarius season will give us a little bit of a reprieve from all the serious deep work we've been doing. We need a little bit of more fun in our lives so we can just enjoy who we are and enjoy our lives. That's part of living too. It's not just about learning and growing and healing, and that's, even though that's a huge part of it, but it's also about just enjoying your life. And I hope that this Sagittarius season brings you some of that enjoyment. So today we're going to do a Temperance card reading for Sagittarius season for the collective. And Temperance card is represented by Sagittarius in the major arcana, or Sagittarius rules Temperance, however you want to say it. And Temperance is really cool because beyond its name, which means like tempered, like even keeled, which our Sagittarians can be even keeled until you push them a little too far, and then they're not even keeled anymore. Temperance is really about alchemy, and the alchemy of two seemingly opposing forces coming together. And that's why I mentioned too that Sages on their own tend to be equally strong-willed and go with the flow. They know when it's time to stand up for what's right, and they know when it's time to just like sit back and let other people take the reins. And not to say that they do that perfectly all the time, but it is more of their evolved energy, the light energy. Oh, I wanted to mention, because I don't know if you can tell with my lighting, since I was trying to do some fun color, and Sagittarius was supposed to be fun season, I tried to color my eyebrows with eyeshadow to match my hair. You can kind of see that if you're just like, does that look like, is that what she did? That's what I did. So I just wanted to share that, because I worked really hard on trying to get these colors to blend in my eyebrows. So they're there. Can you see them? Look at them. Okay, so Temperance. Temperance can come along to when there's balance needed, when things can be out of balance. It can come around when there is things need to be looked at differently from a different perspective. Mutable fire energy is very different from all of the other fire energies, and Sagittarius being the most evolved fire energy, there's a lot of really cool things that come with Sagittarius. I feel like they are There just seem to be, no offense to my Aries and my Leos, but there is something a little bit more, I don't want to say complex, but maybe complex from some people's views. They are multifaceted, like many of us. Like, I mean, all of us are multifaceted, but the energy within itself, mutable and fire, don't really go together. So again, it's this alchemy of these two energies that don't seem to be like good bedfellows, are getting along really great. And I think that this is a great energy for where we are in the world right now too, where things are feeling separated more than ever. There's a lot of talk about the separation of consciousness during the age of Aquarius, and we need the Sagittarius energy to help us not be so separate from the things that we think don't align with us. Or we need to be able to embody those parts of ourselves that maybe people outside of you or society at large has taught you that you're not supposed to like those things, or you're not supposed to act this way, or you're not supposed to do these things. We're trying to get out of those old paradigms of being constricted and stifled, because Sagittarius, you cannot constrict or stifle Sagittarius energy. So it's a lot too about being like cool, like this is me and I'm awesome, you know. So let's see what this Temperance reading is gonna bring for us. So I'm gonna shuffle here. And then if you watched the Scorpio death card reading for everyone, it's going to be kind of like that, but I'm very curious to see. So we're going to shuffle till it feels good. I think one more. And then we're going to flip our deck over and look for the Temperance card. Oh, there's our death card for Scorpio season, Temperance. And we're going to look at the two cards that are on either side of Temperance. I'm seeing like all the other major arcana cards. And those two cards, when it comes to Temperance reading, this is how I do them. I'm sure there are other readers out there that do them differently, which is fine. That is one thing I wanted to say, was that I am not the end-all be-all. I'm only getting one little piece of information. So by all means, please seek out other healers, channelers, psychics. Seek other people out for other views, other messages, because we're all getting a small piece of the pie, and it's just about finding which pieces go together for you. Oh my gosh. This is so funny because, okay, I just went through this whole deck because for the death card reading, I shuffled, and the death card ended up being like right on the bottom, so I couldn't even do like the card before. We kind of looked at the two cards after it. Now I'm going through this. I went through them the bottom to the top, and here's the first card on the top. Here's the Temperance card. And then the one right after Temperance. So this is very interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is very interesting because coming with our Temperance card is the Three of Cups and the Four of Cups in reverse. So this is so funny because the Four of Cups in reverse is basically the Three of Cups card. Because they like to throw me for a loop. And what's really awesome, the symbology crossover, is that you can see Temperance, even though it's a fire energy, is holding these two cups here. And I have a more traditional Temperance card somewhere that actually has they're not both cups. One is a cup of water and one is fire. So again, it's these two opposing forces that don't seem to go together, that go together. Because we see, even in science in our world, what can happen when like water and fire meets. like if you've ever seen lava hit the ocean, it like like it doesn't just completely like put out the lava actually like creates this like dome. That's how it I think that's how lava rock's created, because I'm a scientist. So we need to stop looking at it as like one or the other, or one is like stronger than the other, or one is like, it's not Rochambeau, it's not rock paper scissors. This is about things working in tangent, in cooperation together. So what's interesting is, okay, we'll start with the Three Cups first. So what's interesting is it's the Three of Cups coming up for Temperance, and the Four of Cups in reverse coming up after Temperance. So the Three of Cups is all about separation, coming together. It is all about coming together's celebration. That's what I meant to say. It's all about celebrations, coming together, having fun. This is kind of cool. This is like a good Sagittarius energy, is these like women. There's abundance around. We're in like a very the time of the harvest, and they're like having a great time. They're dancing around, they're choosing their cups. There was actually a bar in New York called the Three of Cups, because it's about, you know, coming together in community and in celebration and just in enjoyment in general. And then the Four of Cups is a very different energy, because we get a little bit more serious with the Four of Cups, but also the Four of Cups comes along when there is something that you're not seeing, that the universe is trying to deliver here, and you're not seeing it because you're so focused on these things here. So it does feel like it's getting all of us to strike a balance between enjoyment and responsibility. And that it seems that those things are affecting your emotions than you think that they are. A lot of the time we think that we're meant to just like go out and have all this fun, and like, I've definitely partied a lot. Of course I like to go have fun, but there is a line, there is a limit. And it seems like with this coming up this way, it's really about looking at your limits, looking at where your line is, and being responsible and making the right choices to not cross that line, or to like go up to your line and be like, okay, I'm good now, like that was fun. Because the way this seems to be coming up is that there's gonna be consequences if you're just doing this all the time. And it does feel like too, for some people, we're doing this all the time to numb. Possibly to numb, to distract ourselves, to distract from, what you should really be doing or focusing on, or what's really going on with you internally. There's a lot of cups here, so there's a lot of emotion swirling around still, probably left over from that really deep Scorpio season. You can still go watch your Scorpio season tarot scopes. We were really digging deep, and so it probably got you like really into your feels. It's like, I don't want to feel this anymore. I gotta go like figure out how to not feel this. And it's human. It's human to do these things. It's human to go blow off steam. And then at the same time, it's human to not celebrate when we do things for ourselves, or to not celebrate the small victories. So it's feeling like finding that balance also, like making sure that you're celebrating at the right time, and it's not just because like it's a Wednesday and you had a bad day, and you know what I mean? It's time to find other outlets for this release, for our emotions. Because if you're stuck in this place, it's feeling like stuck kind of in between. You're stuck in the Three of Cups because you really don't want to look at these other possibilities. And I keep getting like images of like hobbies, like playing music, and art, and playing games. There is something happening in our world where we need to get in touch with our childlike experiences more, and with our wondrous view of the world, and just more playfulness in general. And Sagittarius is really good about that. And this is a playfulness just to play. It's playfulness that you can do without too many stimulants from the outside world. It's playfulness without alcohol and drugs. And like, trust me, I've had a lot of fun with alcohol and drugs, and there are certain hallucinogens that like great for blowing off steam, but that's not what this is talking about. It's talking about those times when you're at home and you don't know what to do. What could you get out and do instead? Like, what kind of games could you play with each other? It's funny because, like, you know, practically everyone has like some sort of streaming service now, so there's always something to watch, and we have a bunch of games that we don't always get out as much as possible. But it makes me think of when I lived in New York, like over a decade ago, and I had 2 roommates, and one of them always had like a partner there. But one of my roommate's girlfriends was helping us create games one night. We didn't have a lot of games. I think we had the Game of Life, and we played it once, and we're like, this is boring. The Game of Life is not fun when you are literally playing the Game of Life in life. But I kind of miss it because we didn't have TV. We didn't have internet. It was like, I still had a Sidekick phone back then. So it wasn't like we weren't on our phones all the time. We literally had to like create games to play. And we would play like a memory matching game, like just like kids, where you would like put things, all the cards down, and you have to find them. But we would make our own cards. It was like half the fun. We would all sit there and have to make like at least 3 or 4 sets of cards and draw them ourselves. And there were some hilarious, and it was so funny because you didn't know what other people were drawing. And so then you're finding that out while you're matching these. And there's like a picture of a cat butt, or like, one of them was like adult with braces. I do not know why I remember that one, but it was like funny stuff like that, or just like a hot dog. Like, so, and then we would play like those like silly celebrity games, like where you like, you're a person and you like sit there and guess. These are things that have kind of gone away because of the internet and technology, and it's such a cool thing to be able to connect back with, is your imagination and this playfulness, and this, where real, like, there's real connection, not just to other people, but to yourself happens. I mean, I think that's why, too, things like, if you've ever heard of the Meow Wolf art installations, they're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Nevada, and they just opened one here in Denver, Colorado. And we just went to the Denver one. It was great. And I'm a huge fan of going to like the Renaissance Festival. These immersive experiences are becoming so popular because otherwise we're just sitting at home looking at a screen, not connecting with each other. Or we're just also tired from our jobs. Like, I can't do anything but sit here and watch this, which is fine. But it's like finding those moments where you could be doing something else that is just going to be more fulfilling in the long run, or more fulfilling overall. We are craving this. That's why these immersive experiences are becoming so popular. They now have immersive art experiences. They have the Van Gogh immersive art experience, and then I think there's a Frida Kahlo coming. It's because we're so desperate to get connected to our imagination and our creativity. And the society we're living in is still not supporting this. And we are in a new renaissance. Straight up, we're in a new renaissance. And if there was one thing that was a constant in any renaissance, it was art. So I really implore you to just do some fun art stuff at home. It doesn't even have to be perfect. You don't have to like create something that you're going to have to post. It's not even about that. It's about doing it for yourself, for your inner child, for your subconscious, for your playfulness. And to have that, to be open to those things, will easily ripple out into the rest of your life. Easily ripple out. I was just even thinking about like how Chris and I find playfulness in our relationship, because we like to joke around. And sometimes I'm like, your jokes aren't funny, because he's a cis-het man in America. Conditioning. But I find it funny when like, okay, so the one, it's like, what are some things I can talk about having playfulness in your relationship, especially when you're both working and you might not always have time to like get out the board game or play music together. One of the ways we do, and I know that this is not going to be a regular thing for most people, but we fart in front of each other all the time. And most of the time the game is that we are either imitating the sound that just came out of the other person's butt, or we're telling each other what that sounded like. And there's something about that simple exchange that just like gets us out of like the seriousness of life. This season really is about getting out of the seriousness a little bit more, but not to a self-destructive point. So like the other day, he let run one rip and I was like working on stuff and I had to stop because I was like, that sounded like you have corduroy pants on and you're rubbing your thighs together ever so slowly. So then that starts like him off and then we sit there and kind of bounce off of each other for a little bit. We have a good little chuckle and giggle and we're like, oh yeah, these are reminders too why life is good sometimes. These are reminders of why it's okay to enjoy your life, and it's good to remember why you chose to come live on this earth again. So please go have some fun. Do not do it to self-destruction. This is not about overindulgence. It is about reconnecting with your little self and that childlike wonder, and having all the hopes and dreams of that inner little you, and finding some playfulness and enjoying life. Okay? And if you have kids, it should be really easy. Kids are really great at reminding us how to just like be silly and play and not care about looking stupid. So go have some fun, some real fun, okay? And if you're in one of those cities, go enjoy an immersive experience because it will really help. Cool. Well, that's the general energy for this coming Sagittarius season, and I will see you in your Taroscopes. The Taroscopes are good for your sun, moon, and rising signs, so to get a full picture, I always recommend watching all of them. All the links are attached, and I will see you for Capricorn season. Bye.